Now to our next conversation. As global central bankers raise rates aggressively in the fight to tame inflation, borrowing, we see the cost of borrowing is actually going to go up, and the risk of fundraising for MSMEs. Let's see what the options are. Let's discuss this with Additional Adeomi now, CEO, Trade Lender. Join us right here on Business Incorporated. Great to have you.
Thank you very much, Ladi. Great to be here.
Yeah, so it's all about fighting, inflation right now, and there is that risk of stagflation. We're seeing the cost of borrowing, rising, at this point. Are the MSMEs in Africa feeling the heat yet?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the NBS figure, you will see that, the capital importation has gone down, by 70%. If you look at Q1, and if you look at quarter on quarter, this has gone down by over 28%. Definitely, the effect is actually being felt by, these MSMEs who are struggling to be able to get the needed funds that they need to scale and grow.
And, with the threat of food security, rising energy costs, quite a number of headwinds, we're facing globally. But what are the opportunities available for, MSMEs right now?
So just to reflect on, what the MSMEs do for every economy, we strongly believe that, these MSMEs actually account for about 84% of the jobs that we have here in Nigeria and across, various other emerging markets. And it's quite, necessary for us to evaluate what even caused, this inflation that is making, these other economies to actually, try to curb inflation. So most of this global inflation was caused by the COVID-19, relief, which was granted to most small businesses. But if you look at the Nigerian sector, you will notice that most of our MSMEs were left out with little or no support at all to be able to, survive the pandemic. Now we are post-pandemic, and most of them are still struggling to be able to find their feet. But I think there's actually a succor, because now we have a high-growing opportunity for digital lending platforms to be able to support, business growth for viable MSMEs to scale and grow.
Yeah, quite a tough time for investors and MSMEs generally. But what are the funding options out there available for startups and existing businesses?
The fallback is actually for them to leverage on existing fintech solutions, digital lending platforms like the likes of Trade Lender and several others who are actually trying to be that support as of today. Just as what we do at Trade Lender, we are actually bridging, this deficiency whereby these people lack, needed timely access to capital to grow and also curb the increasing sector. For example, we've also seen, the likes of those within the agricultural space, scrabbling for input. We've seen, quite some progressive support, with platforms like ours, and also the likes of USAID, who are now supporting input, to make sure that we're able to, secure food security in Nigeria and across other markets.
Right, and take for instance, let's just say, inflation, stays with us, and, the central bankers, keep fighting, keep raising rates. What do you see, happening to MSMEs?
Well, I envisage an increase, because really, once the supply, goes up, the cost of capital in terms of the supply end goes up. What it means is that, all players would also have to significantly raise, their rates. What it means is that instead of us, curbing inflation, then prices will definitely, skyrocket, because this is going to affect every sector and everybody playing within this thing. So definitely, this is what we envisage. But there's also an opportunity for the commercial banks and also the central bank to increase their efforts towards working with digital lending platforms to be able to increase more supply for these MSMEs to be able to access timely access to capital. Thank you.
In chaos, I guess MSMEs will have to find all of that. Thank you so much, Additional Adeomi, CEO, Trade Lender. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me, Larry. Thank you.